starting the heat here in 2 seconds with Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson.
And that's right. And to everyone else, you're right. It's not our top 8 in the world out there. Taylor Knox is number 6. Tommy Witz is number 10. Other than that, after the reset, we should have the top 8 in the world, is what we're being told in our ears right now. So Joel Parkinson, that was straight out of the mouth of Tom Whitaker, that now with the reseed, we do have our top 8.
Well, there you go. There's Mick Fanning, Dave. Boom. Kicking out.
So let's forget the top 8 in the world. It's all about number 4 and number 5 right now. Former world number 2 and last year's world number 3. Joel Parkinson in red, former world number 2, up against last year's number 3, Mick Fanning. And, ooh, Fanning has lit the fire.
Oh, how was that a hack on that oncoming section? Blasting that first turn. Mick Fanning, as you see Joel Parkinson out the back. But wow, those were 2 serious maneuvers from Mick Fanning, as you see Joel getting into the open face here. And looking for an oncoming section. Big wrap snap on the open face for Joel Parkinson. Another big carve as he's another big wrap. Joel Parkinson here relaxing as he kicks out. But wow, that was a really serious exchange, Dave. Mick Fanning just completely unloading on those first 2 turns. Unfortunately for him, he only had 2 turns on that wave, but they were really severe turns.
I can't wait to see the replay on that one. Mick Fanning just starting it off with a bang, lighting the fire, to use a very overused cliche on that one. Mr. White Lightning just going to town, and Parko right behind him knew that after that first one that Mick had gotten a good maneuver and wanted to take a little attention away from the judges.
Well, there you go, upside down, committed surfing from Mick Fanning, as you see that replay, just airing out of the top. And this turn right here is just a vicious upside down hack. Wow, Mick Fanning just putting some serious heat on those turns there, Dave. That was amazing surfing.
Well, even as you can see the high tide backwash kind of giving it a little extra push into that one. Looked like it almost knocked him off his board, but instead added a little extra spray and oomph to that Fanning turn. So the judges still scratching their heads about that one, as both surfers have made their way back out the back. And, oh, sorry, I was going to say it was Joel Parkinson on his paddling for that last one. It's red from the last heat. Damian Hobgood making his way back into the beach.
Well, that wave of Mick Fanning was very interesting. As you can see the replay of Joel's nice big blast on that first turn, kind of releasing his tail. As you can see him, you know, kind of cruising along here in the whitewater, waiting for this wave to build up. And a nice big carve. Not really a big carve, just kind of a setup carve. Looking to hit the reform section here, Dave, as he rounds this bottom turn. Why don't you take us through the rest of this replay?
Well, this is kind of where the wave really starts for Parker. We got that one good move out the back, then up into the lip. Beautiful floater right over that section. Almost got tripped up there by a little of that high tide bump on the face, but smooths his way through it. Back into the pocket on this one. Perfect carve. Finishes off a little snap back into the pocket. And meanwhile, back out the back. Well, we're going to finish this replay and then bring you action on our next one. Another vicious gaff inside from Parko there. So opening up more on the inside section, and whereas Fanning just got those 2 maneuvers and went out into the deep water, Parko's right-hander that he picked up really just right on the rocks. Brilliant surfing from Parko on that one. Judges' scores starting to come in for that first exchange. Looks like a little bit more for Parko than for Fanning.
Well, as you can see on the replays, very, very different approach to surfing on those 2 waves. Mick Fanning with only 2 moves, but both those turns were so committed. You know, basically almost, you know, on the edge of falling on both of them. You know, and the wave being a little bit more whitewatery. You know, unfortunately for Mick Fanning, only coming through at a 6.50 for his first turn. As you can see, Mick Fanning here on another ride. Nice big bottom turn, huge swooping cutback on the open face, and a nice big rebound off the top. Really tight. in the pocket.
The tail to the end roundhouse.
And wow, the scores come through from this wave at an 8.33. As you can see, another nice bottom turn, and right here just whips that turn right there and snaps out of it. And you can see as he comes out of his snap, he just releases and straight into another bottom turn without any hesitation. Dave, I mean, the kid's just firing on all pistons at the moment.
And he's still going on this one.
Wow.
All slow-mo replay all the time for your viewing pleasure as Fanning sets up the third section on this wave. Coming into this final closeout right in the shore break. Just cat-like surfing from Mick Fanning. Throws it up through the lip, floats over that one. And again, how many more critical maneuvers could Mick have put into this wave? And you can tell he's gutted to have lost last week in France. These guys are the best of friends on land, but man, once they're out in the water, the gloves are off, and it is all on as Fanning finishes that one up. Good for an 8.33 to go this 6.5. Parko has a 7.33, looking for a 7.51 now, and we're going to go straight down to the beach with GT.
Well, it looks like we have Joel Parkinson up and riding real quick before we cut to GT. As you can see, oh, wow, big aerial move for Joel Parkinson. Wow, exciting surfing from the youngster from Coolangatta, our previous event winner, as he's carrying his momentum through to the inside.
Oh.
And this is going to be really interesting. That first turn was a giant aerial for Joel Parkinson as these guys are going at it big time right now, Dave.
Well, these guys were the finalists in France 2 weeks ago, and this could be a final here today at Bakio. Wouldn't be surprised to see either of these surfers in the final. We're going to cut to GT down on the beach before we come back with a replay of that last wave of Joel Parkinson.
All right, Dino. Well done, sir. Now, 3 of the Cooley kids have made it to the quarterfinals. Well done.
Oh, yeah, thanks, mate. I don't know. I guess I just, try to make my own way through the event, and I guess we're all there, so it's pretty cool.
Now, okay, 2 of your good mates in the final, or in the quarters right now, and obviously they both have kind of world title contentions. You're going to go on the record?
What record?
The record of who you want in that heat. Who's going to win?
I don't know. I mean, they're both surfing really good, and Joel's got the advantage over Mick, and I don't know. It'd be nice if they both got through, but
yeah. What happens if they tie?
They'll probably have a sculling contest, I guess.
Well, congratulations. You're in the quarterfinals. Now, just so you know, it's heat by heat right now. So they're basing their decision based on wave quality, heat by heat. So go rest up. And by the way, not only did you win the heat, but you've been voted that you have the best board caddy on tour, and your girlfriend Alana. Well done, Dino. All right, congratulations to Dean Morrison. We'll send it back up to the tower for replays and fun stuff like that.
Oh, thank you very much, GT, and we're going to go to a replay of that last wave of Joel Parkinson. We'll kill the suspense a little, and 8.67 Parko back in the lead. Dino, take us through it.
Well, here you go, just a serious aerial there maneuver for Joel Parkinson as he committed straight off the bottom, not even telegraphing that whatsoever, really unexpected, just straight through the top of that lip. That's a very interesting thing about Joel Parkinson. You know, he's so smooth and relaxed, but then again, he's so unpredictable. I mean, that was a giant aerial maneuver there for Joel Parkinson, as you can see right here, out the back, McFanning. But nonetheless,
we can't help ourselves. Fanning is surfing currently out the back. We will bring you his wave as soon as this replay of Parko's is finished. We don't want to cut over to any action and cut off a brilliant replay on, for right now, what is the best wave of the heat, an 8.67 from Parko as he makes his way to the inside here, vertical off the lip.
I mean, how was that aerial? That thing was he was like 4 feet out of the top of the lip.
It was pretty Andy Irons-esque, I'd say.
And he did it without even pumping down the line. He just came straight off the bottom and went straight up into the lip. And obviously the judges liking that with a 8.67 they rewarded him for that wave. And with 20 minutes remaining, we got a doozy of a heat on our hands.
Well, and well earned. Let's take a look at Mick Fanning tries to answer back. Fanning looking for a 7.68.
Well, right here, he obviously saw Joel Parkinson, his buddy, do that air, and he knows he's got to do something serious as he ricochets out of the top of the lip, just answering back another aerial maneuver.
Frontside ollie to lip slide, insane.
Wow, and projecting into this next bottom turn. And right here, he looked like he had it going on, and he caught a little bit of an edge there. Unfortunate for Mick Fanning to have caught rails on that, but nonetheless, brilliant surfing on that aerial for Mick Fanning.
Exceptional performance from Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson. Once again, the best of friends on land, of course, both of them from Coolangatta on the Australian Gold Coast. Joel Parkinson in red, current world number 4. Mick Fanning in yellow, current world number 5. And here is White Lightning, Mick Fanning up and riding, Dino.
Oh, looks like Mick Fanning came unglued off of his board there as you see Joel Parkinson paddling out the back at the top of your screen and opting not to go. Probably thinking, wow, I already have a 7.33 and an 8.67.
And that wave really didn't look like it was going to offer up anything better than a 7.33.
Well, there you go. We do have a doozy on hand here in quarterfinal heat number 1 against two very close friends and current rating number 4 and 5 on the WCT Tour here, sponsored by Foster's.
There he is, Joel Parkinson, current ranking number 4, highest career ranking 2nd. That was 4 years ago, I believe, but I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone out there on the World Wide Web will write in and let me know what the correct answer to that is. Just like you've let us know that on update points, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 11 in the quarterfinals right now. Not our top 8, but our top 6, world number 8 and 11th now with Dean Morrison. There's Mick Fanning, current ranking 5th, highest career ranking 3rd last year, and Mick wouldn't mind stepping up a spot or 2 in the rankings this year. Of course, once again, whoever loses this quarterfinal heat is effectively out of the race for the Foster's ASP Men's World Championship title for 2006. If Kelly wins here, of course, personally, we haven't done all the number scenarios, and there were a few surprises as we got down to the last couple events last year as far as rating points are concerned. But if Kelly wins here, it's pretty much nails in the coffin for everyone. GT says it's over if he wins here, but if he does not win here, then it's still a race.
Well, it looks like we have Joel Parkinson, current world number 4 out the back, swooping around on this open face as he does a nice big snap, and right here, big old crack off the top from the youngster from Coolangatta, Joel Parkinson. Nice off the top surfing for Joel Parkinson as he's bouncing his way into the reform section here, and nice little blast on the oncoming section, opting to go left on the reform there, Dave.
And as usual, Joel Parkinson just making it all look too easy. And GT showing his age with a little, that was a Michael Peterson turn comment there. Michael Peterson, of course, one of the great all-time legends of Australian surfing, who grew up on the Gold Coast as well, blowing people's minds at Kira and Burley Heads, and this is the next generation.
Well, it looks like Joel Parkinson having a look at his stick that he called in an earlier interview gold. So hopefully for Joel it's not blown out as he's looking like he's waving at one of his buddies to try to bring him aboard down there.
Well, he does have glassed on fins too, so maybe he's cracked a fin in the shore break, or let's hope that it's not so for Joel, but he may have buckled that thing as well.
It looked like he might have buckled the tail on that blast, or maybe that aerial maneuver that he did. That wave looked really that wave had a really good look to it, very smooth face as Joel swooped around on that. Maybe we'll get a replay of that. But nonetheless, this judges...
and here it is. You ask, and you will be served, one little replay.
Nice little hook and face snap And it's very seldom you see Joel, doing turns where the wave's not really going there yet. And that's a really nice open face carve. You can see his board just flying through this section. Nice big open face snap. And right here he just really lays into this next turn as he does a super smooth bottom turn. No breaks in that arc there as he blasts the top of that, relentlessly just executing maneuver after maneuver on this wave. And the judges liked it. They rewarded him with a 7.67. As you can see on the replay, he's just such a casual surfer, so nonchalant as he bounces this next reform bounce there, and you can see him kind of looking down the line, and it's right here he kind of moves up on his board and starts to bounce into this oncoming section here, trying to make the reform to assure a couple more maneuvers on the shore break. Really smooth. If you look at his left arm, it's just casually hanging there. And a nice little blast off that oncoming left as he enters the shore break. Perfect style and form and technique. Joel Parkinson, just what an awesome surfer he is. And
on that last section going, okay, well now judges, you've seen what I can do front side here. Let me go left for a second. And Parko killing it. So 7.67 on that one as Joel just upside down and backwards on that last re-entry right in front of the crowd.
Wow. Great surfing from Joel Parkinson there.
Unreal surfing from Joel Parkinson, Dino. Not excellent surfing, but very good in the eyes of the judges. A 7.67, just a couple points off of an excellent wave score in the 8 to 10 point range. Second yellow, Mick Fanning, now needing an 8.02 with an 8.33 and a 6.5 in his scoreline. He knows what he needs to do to get that score. Almost could have gotten it on that 6.5 if he hadn't fallen on his last re-entry. And here he is out the back, up and riding once again. Mick Fanning, White Lightning, on fire.
Wow, blistering off the tops for Mick Fanning as he rounds the inside section here, and really, really critical surfing for Mick Fanning. Kind of, making the average a little bit more than average with gigantic hacks off the top, and another big blast. And one more to finish that wave off. Mick Fanning, current world number 5, bidding for a world title here up against his best friend, Joel Parkinson. Amazing surfing, and you got to think those first two turns were, any average surfer, would have just been on the open face doing a semi, cruisy cutback, and Mick Fanning just blistering through those two cutbacks on the open face to open up that wave.
Well, as you said, Dino, hey, a world title is on the line here. Whoever loses this heat is effectively out of the world title race. So this is huge, especially when you know that these guys are best friends. It's not like Kelly Slater, Andy Irons rivalry. Like, these guys are bros on land. They're always hanging. And there you said, turning an average cutback into a thing of beauty. And a very high-scoring maneuver there. 7.0 on that wave, though, Dino. 1.02 points off the score he needed. So Fanning still looking for an 8.02 after a wave like that. That gives you folks out there at home a little idea about how hard these guys are ripping. After a wave like that, Fanning still needs an 8.02, an excellent wave score.
Well, have a look at this kid. If you want to see someone in form, watch Mick Fanning. Just perfect body technique through his turns, twisting and wrapping through every one of his turns. If you look at his upper body, it's already twisting through his turn before he even gets into it. Watch us off the top right here as his right arm twists around and just wrapping and snapping through that turn. That is surfing at perfection. It's amazing. This kid, had he have had a little bit more of an opportunity, he would have nailed the score easily. Unfortunately, he never really had a big opportunity on the outside. He only had those two nice swoopy roundhouses, but wow, how is that inside wrap snap he get into the pocket?
Well, that's exactly it. If he'd had one more section, if the wave was only, a couple meters, maybe 10, 15 feet longer, he could have thrown in one more solid off the lip snap re-entry, and that would have been enough to push him through. All right, and speaking of that world title race, which is about all we've been doing all day long, here's what Joel Parkinson has to say about the 2006 world title race and his chances to take it all home. Joel Parko.
You know, I just really trying to just work on not making mistakes, and you know, I actually, you know, a couple of years ago I was kind of in this position, and there's nothing you can do. You can only kind of change your own, you know, I guess your destiny or whatever. You can only you know, do your own thing and win from here, but I can't stop Kelly or Andy or Taj or Mick or anything. You know, they're going to run their own race, so kind of worry about your own and take it heat by heat, and you know, I guess you know, it definitely won't be over until the Fat Lady sings, and I'll do what I can.
Well, those are great words from Joel Parkinson, and you know, regardless of what happens this year, you can bet money on the fact that you'll see Joel Parkinson, Mick Fanning, Taj Burrow, and Andy Irons in many years to come. I mean, they're just getting their balls rolling here on the Foster's WCT Men's World Tour.
Oh, Parko taking it one heat at a time, and in this heat there's 9 minutes left, so it's all about now. And look at Parko. He said he makes it look too easy and super fluid, but getting snappy and tricky there. Gee, how was that?
Wow. Joel Parkinson looking like he's just walking in the park, making it look so easy, you know, basically upside down, blowing the tail all the way around backwards on that third turn there. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see. He does have to better a 7.67 at this time of the heat with only 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. But nonetheless, brilliant surfing from Joel Parkinson, just so relaxed and radical at the same time. It's so interesting, that contrast as we watch the replay. Why don't you take us through this there, Dave?
And first turn, just perfectly on the rail, not a drop of water, not a body movement out of place. Even when he does his little pumps to pick up speed, it's just, you know, absolute perfect positioning. Throws the tail out on that one. See what he does on this just setting up for his little air. There we go. Front side, ollie 180. Got the 1 foot there at the end. Perfect reception in the whitewash. Just no problem. Of course he was going to make that. Makes his way onto the inside section. Boom. Gets a little bit caught up in the lip there, but that's all right. He knew that he needed to do something big to better the 7.67 anyways. That one a 5.67. So all the pressure is still on Parko's best mate, Mick Fanning.
Only needing an
8.02. Only needing an 8.02.
That ain't a very tall order for what they call white lightning.
Yeah, Fanning can get 8s in his sleep, man.
Michael Eugene Fanning, the Cooley kid.
And someone was saying earlier that that's not Mick out there, that's Eugene. The only problem is that Eugene would be too drunk to surf if it was. So Mick prefers that Mick show up for heats and let Eugene come out at the after party.
Well, there's a shot of the current world champion and current points leader, Kelly Slater, putting on his jersey as he obviously is ready to compete in quarterfinal number 2 against
Tom Whitaker.
Well, there you go. Tommy Whitaker.
Number 8. Exactly. So Tommy Witts and Kelly Slater, apparently, if the conditions are good enough for Fanning and Parko, they're good enough for Tommy Witts and King Kelly. So out they go. And it's true, things have calmed down a little bit here. There's maybe less consistent on the wave standpoint, but when the sets come through, whoa, there's definite the potential there. And, yep, as you all know, the Fanning Parkinson were the 2 members of the final in France. So here's a couple words from Joel talking about just that final.
Last week, final against Joel, one of your brothers in arms. Were you guys kind of sizing each other up? You high-fiving out in the water?
It was great surfing against Joel. If you can't win the meet, you're one of your best mates too. So yeah, it was great.
Well, there you go. Michael Eugene Fanning currently in the second position in this heat, sitting out the back in yellow with priority, only needing a 8.02. And for all you spectators watching on the web around the world, when you say only 8.02, that's nothing for Mick Fanning if he is served with an opportunity. So we'll have to wait and see as this heat unfolds into the closing minutes with just under 5 minutes remaining. As you see a shot of Tommy Whitaker putting the red jersey on and making his way down the walkway here to enter into quarterfinal heat number 2 against Kelly Slater.
That's going to be a big ask, but Tom Whitaker has definitely been on form all event, as he was in the last event in France, and an unlucky loss in the early rounds at the Boost. So Tommy Witt's definitely one of the form surfers over the last month here in Europe. And there he is on the beach, Tommy Witts with his red singlet on. And I don't know what kind of boards he's riding. Are those Dahlbergs? Well, either way, his boards, his quiver has been absolutely magic through the last month here in the southwest corner of Europe, in France and Spain. And Fanning, well, he's got 4 minutes to score an 8:02. If he doesn't, he's out of the title race, and his mate Joel continues on. And I guess if you can't win a title on your own, the next best thing is for your best mate to win it. So if Fanning is out, we know he'll be rooting for Parko to take home the 2006 title, and vice versa, I'm sure. But it ain't over till it's over, Dino. To use very poor English grammar, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Fanning out the back. Parko with the pressure on. White Lightning needing an 8.02.
Well, as you can see, that was a great shot of Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson in the lineup. As you can see, Mick Fanning out the back with priority in yellow, and Joel Parkinson sitting inside of him with second priority, you know, making him be honest here. As you see Mick Fanning paddling and up and riding, Mick Fanning, big snap off the top on the open face with a quick release out of it, and another big wrap. Wow, this is and opting to kick out of that wave. Unfortunately for Mick, that wave didn't line up through the inside bank, as the tide and the conditions are changing rapidly at the moment. Well, there you go. The tide is rushing in with only 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
And quarterfinal number 2 has elected to paddle out, so once again we will be taking these quarterfinal heats, heat by heat. Tommy Witts and Kelly are good to go out in the water currently with 2.5 minutes remaining in this one. Mick Fanning in second, looking for an 8.02 up against his best mate, Joel Parkinson. Joel in first with an 8.67 and a 7.67. Mick's 2 scoring waves, an 8.33 and a 7.0. Mick needs an 8.02 to take out his best mate, Joel Parkinson, and secure himself a spot in the semifinals of the third to last event on the 2006 Foster's ASP Men's World Tour. Once again, this heat absolutely crucial because both these two guys were still mathematical contenders in the 2006 race for the world title, but one of them will be out of the running and out of the equation in 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Well, here you go. Mick Fanning, unfortunately, caught inside on this little set on the inside as we patiently await the side of the 7-time world champion and current points leader Kelly Slater, which will be hitting the water here in approximately 1 minute and 20 seconds. But nonetheless, we still do have a minute with Mick Fanning in second position, needing a 8.02 to overtake the lead from Joel Parkinson. Plenty of time remaining for White Lightning here. As you can see, a small set
rolls in,
and there Mick Fanning goes. He's up and riding out the back, Dave.
He's pumping his way into this first section, bashes it off the whitewash. Looked like he was going to go for a reverse, just went around to fakie, wrapped it back around, switched directions. Second off the lip snap there for Mick. Another big bash off the whitewash there. And again, he's going to ride this one all the way to the beach with 35 seconds remaining. This is his last shot at a spot in the semifinals and a shot at the world title for 2006. What do you think, Dino? Is that enough?
Oh, man. You know, my gut feeling tells me no, but, man, he surfed absolutely perfect on that wave. whipping that first turn. Just, you know, he did every single thing he could possibly do on that wave. And we'll have to wait and see what the judges reward that. But I think, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But, man, he stripped this wave good.
Well,
as you can see the replay here, he bounces into this oncoming section, whipping a reversal there. And then